Hello, McFluffy52 here, back with some more Phyrexia All-Will-Be-One action, and today we're playing a very silly list. I call it Urza's Stones because, well, we're playing both the Urzas. Particularly most important one is going to be Urza, Prince of Kroog, which says artifact creatures you control get +2/+2, and then pay 6, create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control, except it's a 1/1 soldier creature in addition to its other types. Now, what are we doing with Urza? Well, we're making everything into an artifact with a card from Phyrexia All-Will-Be-One called Encroaching Mycosynth. It is 4 mana, 1 blue. Non-land permanents you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for permanent spells you control and non-land permanent spells you own that aren't on the battlefield. This means cards in our graveyards, our artifacts, cards in our library, our artifacts, everything is an artifact if it's a permanent. So this means that our sorcery here and whatnot are not artifacts, but everything else is an artifact. We're gonna go ahead, try this out on the ranked ladder. Basic idea is that we hope to go ahead, get Urza out there, and start making copies of things. So we got a bunch of power stones, where part of the name comes from, to help us ramp. But yeah, let's see how we do. Full deck tech at the end of the video, so stick around if you're interested in that. And if you enjoy unique decks, consider subscribing because we try and post a video every single day. All right, this hand kind of strange. It's really expensive, but I do like Thran Spider. I will say I think we're gonna get stomped. This list is a little troll. But hey, Urza works really well with like Thran Spider. This is a 4/6 blocker in that case. Like, that's crazy. And then Mightstone and Weakstone, like, if we have a bunch of power stones and we turn everything into artifacts, we can cast whatever we want. Whatever we want, and for a discount. Going against black here. I'm very concerned. Do we want to block this? Yeah, let's not block it, because this is an enchantment, so that can help us eat an Invoke Despair. Sweeper's nice. Next turn we can cast a Mightstone and Weakstone, draw 2, which does sound pretty nice, though this Power Stone will help our opponent evolve their evolved sleeper, which is less than ideal. We're gonna go ahead, no attacks. Our opponent might have a Flesh Gorger, which could also help, or the Power Stone could also help them in that case. But I don't think most situations they're gonna have good ways to make use of it. That is the thing with Thran Spider. You do give your opponent a Power Stone too. Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. That is alright. We'll go ahead and just draw 2. Draw 2 before they get a Shield Druid out, and then we can save our Sweeper for their Shield Druid. Draw ourselves some more lands here. I do not like the fact that Phyrexian Flesh Gorger has Menace, because that does make it a little hard to block here, but Phyrexian Arena, okay. Well, in that case, I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead. I mean, we could pay into the Thran Spider and try and find an artifact in top, what does it say? Top 4 cards? Why is it only 4 cards for 7 mana? That's ridiculous. I guess they were afraid of it being overpowered and limited. It does seem kind of weak, though. Let's go ahead searching. Nothing. Okay. Alright, well, that's kind of awkward. Opponent, hopefully they play something out that makes sweeping a little bit more worthwhile. Though I think we might just be casting Encroaching Mycosynth if they don't do too much. Yep, alright, we're sweeping. Psych. No, we're not gonna auto Wara it. Resolve. We can cast this and our sweeper. We'll just go ahead and do that. Everything is an artifact. That's an artifact. This is an artifact. Well, these are sorceries, so they're not artifacts, but hey. We get 2 damage through. That's something. Because now we just go say bye to our opponent's board. I don't think we played a land for the turn. Play our tap land. We can actually return everything from our graveyard. Well, all of our ornaments from our graveyard. The battlefield was brilliant restoration. I threw 1 copy of it in just for this, for like that sort of situation. I don't know if we want to use it this upcoming turn. But we don't have anything in hand, which is kind of unfortunate. Mightstone and Weakstone. We can go ahead and deal with their. We do have, if we can find it, we do have. Alright, let's just go ahead and return our stuff. I don't think we're gonna get that much extra value out of holding it off, and we get 2 creatures for 7 mana. Okay, maybe that's not the best, but hey, it's something. We can actually cast that if we had more lands. But yeah, we can use the Mightstone and Weakstone to help pay for, or these powerstones to help pay for the Spirit Companion, which will be nice. Or we can just pay mana into Thran Spider to help us find stuff. The double powerstones gave him a free max cost Flesh Gorger, which is unfortunate. That's not what I wanted. Okay, welcome to lands. That's unfortunate. Go ahead, pay. Yes. Keep this one. We'll take the bite from the Flesh Gorger. We would like to get rid of it, is the thing. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you play an untapped land, we can actually find something with a Thran Spider. Ho ho ho, Urza, don't mind if I do. That makes a Planeswalker. That makes a Planeswalker. Next turn we can make a Planeswalker. Nice thing with Urza is when everything's an artifact, everything becomes cheaper to cast. And then we can make copies of this. If we get a mirror box out there and we can make copies with the other Urza, we can just discount our stuff further. Though most of the time you just want to make copies of the Urza that makes all your artifacts stronger. Go ahead, sacrifice a creature. Go ahead, sack the Spirit Companion here. And then sack that because it's an enchantment, blah blah. They only drew 1 card. It's still not ideal because our opponent is going to be able to get some damage in with their Gix. Or get a card draw in with their Gix. And take us down to very low. But we do get Urza here. Urza can gain us some life. Urza Planeswalker. Artifact instant sorcery spells you cast a turn cost 2 less to cast, gain 2 life. Or we can also do this, which gains us life. So we'll probably cast this first. So that makes this 1 mana. And then we can go ahead, flip Urza Planeswalker, I think. Does this cost all our mana? Oh, we do have another land that we can throw down, so we should be fine. There's our Planeswalker. We can go ahead and do this, gain a little bit of life, play an Urza, and then we could create 2 3/3s because of Urza and Kroog. What is the right move? Probably get rid of Gix here. Yeah, we should probably do this. If our opponent has another Invoke here, which they might because, you know, they've been drawing cards like crazy with their Phyrexian Arena. Obliterator. Okay. Well, you're not gonna have any fight spells, so we can just get rid of it next turn. We can get rid of both of them next turn. Okay, this is really funny. Alright. So what we do... Oh, it's so funny. Alright, let's go ahead and draw 2 cards. Discard a card. Alright, Sea Chrome Coast is not very good. And now what we do is we exile non-land permanent. Alright, this is the real fun part though. Create a copy of our Urza Planeswalker. Keep the this one that can go ahead and exile this. And then we can go ahead and exile their Phyrexian Arena. Oh. Because it's an artifact, we can go ahead and create a 1/1 soldier copy of it, which is so weird. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Of course, I'm so happy that our first game turned out so well, because yesterday's video, or the video that I recorded right prior to this, went awfully. Well, the first game went well, and then we lost like 10 games in a row. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep on recording until I until I get another game or another win. Opponent's very distraught about what do I remove, because we can keep on making Urza Planeswalker copies, so that means we can get 3. Actually, we can get even more than 3. We can get 4 Planeswalker activations, which is fun. Which is a lot of fun. We do need a mirror box though. Kinda need a mirror box. Vraska, okay. Please don't remove the Planeswalker, because we can make copies of it with our other Urza in our hand. Ah, they get rid of the Planeswalker. I wonder, that's such, you've never seen something weird, more weird than this. What the heck? What if we make a copy of it? I think it's probably just a copy of, wait, okay. This is a bad idea, but it's for science. All right, what if we create a copy of this? It's gonna legend rule, right? But it creates, it worked. What the heck is this? And our opponent can't deal with another Urza Planeswalker. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, it is really fun because you can create a copy of any non-land permanent you have. So you can go ahead and create copies of your Planeswalkers, your creatures, your art, or like powerstones and whatnot. Like that's too funny. That is too funny. Okay, well, I don't think we're gonna top that, but that's absurd. Oh my goodness. I'll say that I did get this whole like Mycosynth Urza like copy plan off of a comment, and somebody was in Swayze's stream. I was watching him stream, and somebody suggested checking out these cards. I was like, no way, that's so cool. I'm gonna have to try building a deck around those too. I believe the person's name was Nathan, so shout out to Nathan if you're watching. You're the one who gave me the idea to do this. I will not claim that this was my own plan, though it was my own plan to use Encroaching Mycosynth and Brilliant Restoration. Actually, that's a lie. I already knew about that, but I knew about them from watching Hello Good Games did a like Planeswalker like combo where you self-mill your Planeswalkers and then you can get them all back with Encroaching Mycosynth and Brilliant Restoration, and then if you also have an Ichor Moon Gauntlet, you most likely can go ahead, proliferate, take a turn and whatnot, because then you're gonna have like 5 Planeswalkers or something. Alright, we need another land. That is not good. Missing a land drop is not a good sign. The Skrelv's Hives are kind of nice because they can create 1/1 artifacts that can get buffed up by Urza, so that's why we're playing them. But they're not looking very good right here. You should have attacked in and then cast your Graveyard Trespasser. That's okay. You want to know what's even more okay? The fact that we will never top deck land. Because last game, I think that game makes up for all the losses I've had today. That was too funny. We even made a copy of the treasure. And because it has like the soldier type, I think it ended up being fine. Alright, yeah, this game's already over, but we can try. This game is though like 90% of the way to done. We'll block Shieldred here, and we're just going to try and sweep to the board next turn if we top deck an untapped land. That is a huge if. If we also top deck an untapped land, though, we can cast Mightstone and Weakstone and go for the Shieldred, but a sweeper is probably a better plan. I will take that. You know what? I didn't even care about this Skrelv's Hive. It was doing me damage. Now, this was not what I meant by an untapped land. I guess I'm gonna play Encroaching Mycosynth, make everything an artifact. That'll help us cast our Skrelv's Hive, I guess, because it's now an artifact. I like that it changed the borders, so you get like these metal borders now. Yep, we have an Encroaching Mycosynth, Fierce. Swing in, okay? It's not that complicating. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself thinking too hard. Opponent had a decent start. They had the perfect curve. Tenacious Underdog into Cemetery Trespasser into Shieldred. The only thing they missed out on there was the Invoke Despair the following turn. Actually, no, they cast Invoke Despair in there as well. Wait, did they have the perfect curve? Or did they Invoke Despair and then Shieldred? I don't really remember. Alright, this hand's actually pretty good. In Skrelv's Hive, we have Sunset Revelry. They have more cards, more creatures, and life than you. You can go ahead and do things, which is cool. I don't think they'll end up having more creatures than, or yeah, it's gonna be part of the problem. It's fine. Well, they have more life than us and more cards. We get to gain 4 life and draw a card. We do need to try and hit our land drop. A land drop means we cast Encroaching Mycosynth, which is nice. Yep. Makes everything into an artifact. One fun thing with like Encroaching Mycosynth, if you have Encroaching Mycosynth and Vesuvian Duplimancy, you can target your Vesuvian Duplimancy with like a spell and you'll create a copy of it. Because Vesuvian Duplimancy says target artifact or creature, like whenever they become target of a single target spell, you create a copy of it, and it's non-legendary. So you can go ahead and start duplicating your Duplimancy, which is fun. I'm just gonna go ahead and draw cards. Wait until they flip their things a little. We have an Urza's command here because it can create a construct. It's +1/+1 for each artifact we control, so we currently have like a bunch of artifacts, so I can make a massive creature, which is nice. And I think we'll probably sweeper in Thran Spider. I think that is the plan. Our opponent tossed a Gix. It's command, or Cruelty of Gix rather. Parasitic Grasp. I've seen this on the stats board as like a commonly played card. I just haven't ever seen anyone playing it. I assumed it was a best of 3 type thing. I guess it's good against soldiers because it can hit soldiers because most soldiers are humans. I guess we attack in first. My bad, my bad. Nice thing is this mirror box can allow us to cast on their Mightstone and Weakstone and keep them both. Bye-bye. They can hard cast an Atraxa on their turn. They do have the ability to cast anything for 7 mana, so I think they're holding up something here until the end of our turn, or maybe they're just thinking that we had a sweeper, so they're waiting to do it to their next turn. Big score, there you go. And then they get to reanimate it their turn. Do they have a Bitter Reunion in hand? Because that's going to tell us whether or not we are in for some serious trouble. Because Bitter Reunion means they can give it haste. Oh, what? Oh, okay. Did not anticipate Olivia, but that does do things. They get another Atraxa, they get a Lilia, they get a, or Liliana, they get a Bitter Reunion. Cut down. Okay. Well, we are hosed as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead, block this. That does more damage to us. We can just hard cast an Atraxa our next turn, so even if we get rid of this Olivia, that will get rid of their Atraxa. We're in a tough spot. The populate's nice. Populate is nice. So maybe we just go for that, and then go for the mirror box. Because that allows us to cast a Mightstone and Weakstone next turn. They do get to draw a card here, which means they are looking at a very full grip there. 8 cards. Atraxa back in the graveyard to be reanimated. Bitter Reunion does, though, say that we do die to another creature in hand if they have one. If they have another Lilia in hand, or not Lilia, Olivia. Olivia. Oh boy. I love Bitter Reunion. That card's amazing. A really good card. Particularly in Reanimator. We might be playing a Reanimator deck
a fight? And you
soon.
think you can win? Drop it.
Discard a card. Urza's Command or Brilliant Restoration. Do we even have that much in our graveyard? We don't have much in our graveyard, so we're going to go ahead and say bye-bye to Brilliant Restoration. And see what we can do here. If we top deck a Urza, we can go ahead and do Urza things, but it's not quite what we need to do. Okay, well. Roll us something, please. Okay. We played that top plan down. It's gonna bite us in the back here because Adakar Wastes would be nice to have down here because we'd actually be able to play one of the Urza's Command, and then we'd be able to create a giant construct. So. Bit of a misplay there, playing the Tranquil Grove and before drawing with our Mightstone and Weakstone, but it is what it is. Opponent here, I feel like they're one step away from lethaling us, but they discarded their Atraxa for some god knows what reason. I guess they had the cruelty and they were just planning on it all along. But honestly, it is a bit wasteful to be using a card when you could have just hard cast a Trex last turn and then hasted in with Bitter Reunion and had lethal this turn. I mean, we die to our Skrelv's Hive on upkeep actually though if they played Bitter Reunion and haste in. I don't know what our opponent's up to. It's very much confusing me. Opponent's missed lethal like 2 times or something. Alright, please draw a card. Scry 1, draw a card, create a creature. I guess we play Encroaching Mycosynth. I mean, there's nothing else we can do with our mana, so we'll go ahead and play out another artifact. Yay! It's a big 11/11 construct that we have created, but sadly, it will not do as much. Oh my, that first game was so amazing though. Did we not lose a point there? I think it just did it very silently. Or maybe it's giving us a chance to not demote. The magic gods are like, hold up. Just stop. Stop while you're ahead. We'll play like 2 more games, see if we can top that first game. If we can't, we'll go ahead and call it there and hop into the deck tech. Okay, I was a little bit worried there that I was going to insta-draw us because of the fact there was no hands. Opponent goes first. That's a bad sign. We do have Urza and Mycosynth though, so that's something. I think we have 3 or 2. Golly. Hopeful Initiate means they're just white aggro, which is a very bad sign. Thankfully that says non-creature spells, not necessarily we need to find ourselves a land. Chose to play this over the Thran Spider because the Thran Spider creates a power stone that's never going to help us cast or depopulate, and I think we're going to be needing to guess it because our opponent's on the play and they're playing mono white creature aggro. There's the Vindicator, taking 5 damage. No, what? Interesting. Alright, we can block the Hopeful Initiate here. And then we can cast Depopulate next turn. Still taking 7 damage. Okay, scratch that, we're taking 8 damage. Or 9 damage, my bad. Or 11 damage? What the heck? I can't do math. I'm taking 11 damage here. The real question is, are they going to have anything after we super this board? Two cards in hand. We have the Mightstone and Weakstone as a removal spell here. Will it be enough? Can we walk away on 1 life? Steel Seraph. Yep, that's gonna have to go. That is gonna have to go. chunk. Level Initiate. Anointed Peacekeeper can stop the depopulate, not at all. It can stop Urza somewhat. They probably say depopulate? I don't know. Nothing they say really matters because we can just sweep the board with the depopulate. It's probably best that they say depopulate though, because then we're gonna be able to double cast. Well, if they name Urza, that would be the worst, basically. Urza would be the worst possible thing to name, I think. Depopulate's probably their best bet. Even if it doesn't stop us from casting it, it stops us from developing the board while also casting it. I'm sorry, opponent. You chose aggro, we chose to try and not die to aggro. We got a little lucky, but not all that lucky. They named Urza. Okay, well, it's okay. Encroaching Mycosynth means everything is an artifact, so Urza becomes a... Ooh. Urza becomes a lot of fun to play with. Oh wait, I think we could have turned that into Urza Planeswalker. Not bad. It's alright. We'll just play out another Encroaching Mycosynth. If we turned that into Urza Planeswalker though, we would have been a little bit safer, I think. Alright, I guess we swing in first. Then we go ahead, flip you. Start creating some dudes that get to be made into 3/3s. So we have lethal next turn, roughly. Hopeful Initiate. Don't think that will do. How much damage do we have? I don't really care to do the math. Let's just go for it. Urza Planeswalker is stealing away another dub. Alright. Urza Planeswalker. A lot of fun if you can get it online. And we have a little bit of fun with Urza Planeswalker that first game. We managed to stall out our opponent. We have 4 depopulates in the deck for a reason. Because, well, we are not playing that much spot removal at all. Depopulate and the Mightstone and Weakstone are our spot removal. Really want to get that mirror box going so we can start making copies of legendaries. Because then you can have multiple Urzas going, which is even crazier. Alright, we'll keep this hand. You've convinced me. I think we'll get rid of Urza's command here. Keep the Encroaching Mycosynth because we're a little crazy. Just a bit. Bread. So this Sunset Revelry might actually be able to get full value next turn. Depends. Do they have a 1-drop that will deal damage to us? No. Okay. Well, I lied. We are not playing Sunset Revelry then. We're going to try and draw for land. I repeat, we are going to try and draw for a land. Rakdos Atraxa. Come on. No. Okay. Rakdos a burn. Stand corrected. Or Rakdos sack, if you will. One more land until we can start doing some fun stuff. Playing out Encroaching Mycosynth, playing Urza's command. Body Dropper, that is spooky. Fortunately, we do not have less cards than our opponent. We only have less creatures. Because this leaves us 5 cards in hand, so we're tied. Alright, maybe we'll hold this off until next turn. Get more value out of it. Though, we're not going to be able to draw a card with it at this rate. Do you have the Forge on 3? The Forge on 3 would be the toughest thing for us to get over. That is a thing that sacks immediately, so that can trigger some sack outlets. Or not sack outlets, sack rewards, if you will. Awesome. Populate. We'll probably have another creature for our Sunset Reverie to go off of. Experimental Synthesizer. Volt Charge. Yep, they're definitely a Forge deck. That smells a lot like Forge. Alright, Gainland is nice. Play Encroaching Mycosynth and stuff. Anvil. Where's your anvil? Oh, Knob Nixilis. Alright, well that's GG.
Shake down the one city. Your punishment is my entertainment.
Is it? Is it? Your punishment is my entertainment. Taste this, Knob Nixilis. Ah, Logamos.
Go sow some chaos. By coin or carnage, tribute is owed.
I don't think there's a way to recover from this. I don't think there's actually a way for us to recover from this. Honk. Urza, Prince of Kroog. Kroog. Eaten alive. They ignore the prince. Do they have something else? I feel like Eaten Alive is not what you want to be playing. Well, actually, Eaten Alive is only, Eaten Alive is only, 1 mana. There is 2 mana, sacrifice an artifact or creature, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Which I feel like might be a little bit better. Powerstone Fracture, I believe it is called.
Shake down the locals. Go ahead. Plead for mercy.
Go ahead, plead for mercy. Pow. Alright, Skrelv's Hive help finish the job. It's a 6/6. Haw. It grows bigger each turn. Nope, nope, nope. We are dead. They just need to do 1 damage to us. That's what they can do with the...
Defy me, and you'll lose my
Knob
coin
Nixilis,
or
quite a strong card.
carnage. Tribute is
Also
owed.
very good with Forge. Alright, well, I think I'm going to call the video there for this one. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but I think we showed off some of the fun that you can have with this jank deck. So, I think it's fair. Let's go ahead, hop into the deck. I know I said I called the video there, but by that I mean call the games. Go ahead, hop into the deck. Alright, Urza Stones. This is a very jank deck. We got maybe a bit of a, yeah, we have a dumb mana curve. But we got a lot of ramp. So we have card draw. Actually, let's go from the start. Meticulous Excavation. Now, why do we have this card? Well, we have this card because it's a one of, fun of, that can help us return our Mightstone and Weakstone to our hand and then recast it a bunch of times to help get more value out of it. So if we really run out of things to do and we happen to hit this, we can go ahead, return Mightstone and Weakstone to hand, and then play it again, presumably at a discount thanks to an Urza. Skrelv's Hive. This helps pump out artifacts, which can go ahead and make our Urza command creature or constructs bigger, which is kind of cool. And then these also get buffed up by Urza Prince of Kroog that says artifact creatures you control get +2/+2. So yeah, very synergistic in that regard. Probably not the best card in the deck. Like this card's probably not that good. That card's not probably that good. The Powerstone or the Mirror Box is a little troll. The Urza's Command is a little troll. The Encroaching Mycosynth is a little troll. There's definitely like, I will say like, what I'm trying to get out here is that there is like, you can play a very decent like a Zorius artifact aggro deck, but it doesn't look like this. Is my point. We have a very strange deck. Spirit Companion, this card draw on a creature that can also chump. That's why I love this card. Very good boy. Rate 10 out of 10. Sunset Revelry, this card is nice because, well, you see all the value it can give us. It can get us 2/1/1s, gain us 4 life, draw a card. This is just what we need to try and keep stalling the game out until we can get to our bigger threats. Find our sweeper, sweep, get to our bigger threats, and try and develop our board on top of the carcass of theirs. Urza, Lord Protector. I only have 2 copies of this card. You probably throw in a third here and then maybe throw in another mirror box just so that you don't legend rule yourself too much. But my point being, Urza, Lord Protector, good in this deck, good with Encroaching Mycosynth because it makes everything cheaper. And then you can go ahead, flip it into one of the best planeswalkers in the game. You get to use its loyalty abilities twice each turn, and those loyalty abilities are pretty nice. First one can gain you 2 life, and it gives +2, so your Urza can like ultimate like the next turn, so you just +2/+2 or whatever, and then you can ultimate your Urza. Very nice. It also makes your artifact, instant, and sorcery spells you cast this turn cost 2 less to cast. So this isn't the next instant sorcery or artifact spell. This is all instant artifact and sorcery spells. So if you actually get to a certain point where you have like you tick this up twice and maybe you have like the other Urza Lord Protector on the battlefield, you could cast your Mightstone and Weakstone for free on repeat, which makes it pretty funny if you had like a Meticulous Excavation, because you can then for every white source you have draw 2 cards, because you play the Powerstone or the Mightstone and Weakstone here for 0 mana thanks to your Urza Lord Protector and your Urza Planeswalker ticking up twice. And then you tap it to generate 2 and you draw your 2 cards or whatever. But you tap it to generate 2 mana that can be used to pay for Meticulous Extraction. So you only have to pay 1 white each time to bounce this, and then you can go ahead, cast it for free again, and keep the value train going. That is just one of the silly ideas in this deck. But yeah, that's Urza Planeswalker. It can go ahead also draw us cards and then discard a card. So good in a Reanimator deck if you're looking for a Zorius Reanimator and you want to spice it up with some Urza. That's a good time. Create 2 1/1 soldier artifact creature tokens. This is really good in this deck because we have Urza Prince of Kroog that buffs up those soldiers. And the -3, which you can do twice your first turn. You can exile 2 non-land permanents the opponent controls. That can help blow up whatever is causing you problems on the opponent's board if it is only 1 or 2 things. And then the ultimate is amazing. All artifacts and planeswalkers you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Destroy all non-land permanents. That basically says, okay, everything I control becomes indestructible, blow up all other things. Because, well, everything you control is an artifact. So, Urza Lord Protector with Encroaching Mycosynth, ton of fun, especially when you get the Planeswalker, because then you can go ahead and copy the Planeswalker with Urza Prince of Kroog. We saw it in the first game. I didn't get to do that a bunch when I was like testing it, but it is really fun. When I was testing it, I had like the mirror box, and what I was choosing to do was copy the Urza Prince of Kroog, because then for each Urza Prince of Kroog, all of your Urza Prince of Kroogs, as well as all of your other artifact creatures, get another +2/+2, which is cool. Mirror box, this just says legend rule doesn't apply, so we can have more than one of each legendary, and then each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1, and then each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name as that creature. So, for each token, our original creature becomes bigger, which is nice, and then it just allows us to create tokens of our legendary creatures, so that so if we had a mirror box and like our whole like Urza setup with a Mycosynth, we could go ahead and create more and more planeswalkers and actually keep them around, which would be pretty crazy. Thran Spider is a 2/4 with reach, so it's a really nice body. Creates a power stone for you and your opponent. Generally, the power stone is a little less useful for your opponent because, well, you're playing around a bunch of artifacts. And then the 7 mana ability, I don't know why it's 7 mana. It seems a little expensive because you only look at the top 4 cards of your libraries, and then you can reveal an artifact from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So when you have Encroaching Mycosynth, this just says look at the top 4 cards of your library for 7 mana and put one of them into your hand. Well, a non-land card into your hand generally, unless you hit your Depopulate, your Brilliant Restoration, and your Sunset Revelry, because those are your sorceries, that are not non-land permanents, unfortunately. All right, Depopulate, Sweeper for 4 mana, destroy all creatures. If they have a multicolored creature, draw a card. So this can kind of work well in this deck, I guess, because we do have quite a few multicolored creatures. But yeah, Encroaching Mycosynth, everything we control besides our lands becomes artifacts in our library, in our graveyard. So yeah, this card's a very spicy jank card from, at least very spicy and jank in standard. This card probably has some more competitive combos in other formats. Urza's Command. Oh, I guess this is another instant or sorcery. I totally skipped that. Urza's Command. We have 2 of these. We have to choose 2 of these, and it's a 4 mana instant that says creatures. Okay, we can choose creatures you don't control get -2/-0 until end of turn. So go ahead, stall out a full all-out attack, and then maybe we can swing in. I don't know. But that is one of the nice uses for that particular mode. And then we can go ahead and create a Power Stone token. So this helps us with all of our artifact synergies and helps with the next mode that says create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token you can that says with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So yeah, we can create a Power Stone that helps us just keep ramping and stuff, but we can also create a construct that can be huge in this deck because we have so many artifacts lying around. And then the last ability can help us draw cards, scry one, and then draw a card. So we can choose any 2 of those that are most helpful for the situation. I think this card is alright. I don't know if it's necessarily great enough to see a ton of play. Urza Prince of Kroog. This card is part of the important sauce in this deck. So definitely like this card. Super fun in the combo, right? But I think this card is probably only playable in like a few more like artifact decks. If you're playing those like hasty art or aggro artifact decks that I'm thinking of. Maybe you can use it in there, but artifact creatures you can roll, get +2/+2, and then we can create token copy of any artifact we control, except if it's a 1/1 soldier creature in addition to its other types, which is nice. Mightstone and Weakstone. This card's a baller in artifact decks. Ramping, drawing cards, or removing for 5 mana. And then lastly, Brilliant Restoration. Return all artifact and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. This can kind of be your trump card or savior in the right moments. I just threw it in here because I thought it'd be fun. And then the lands, we're playing as many duels as we can because, well, quadruple white, double blue, a white and blue. So it's important that we hit our different lands. Though, I think if you remove the Urza's command and you remove the Brilliant Restoration, maybe you don't have to go quite as duel heavy, but yeah. That is the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps out a ton. And have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Ciao.